Hello friends, and welcome to episode 13 of Looking at Stamps. Today we are going to continue our discussion of 15 cent stamps. I'm going to try to get through as many of them as possible. What I don't finish today, I will continue in a part 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm hoping to get to the post office early so I can pick up a Wild and Scenic Rivers stamp set to show you tomorrow. So let's go. I have sorted these by using the stamp sizes, and as a bookbinder we always use the horizontal measure by the vertical measure. So for example, in an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, the 8.5 inch is the shorter side and the 11 inch is the longer side. So horizontal by vertical. So I don't have to explain that each time in the future. So these are separated. I'm going to start off with the 1 inch by 1.5 inch. Most of these, or many of these I should say, were released in the 1980s, and that is the standard dimension of stamps in that particular time frame. First, let's start off with, this is the education stamp. I chose this because I love the color orange, as many of you know. This is the Seeing Eye Dog stamp. I have this listed as theme 1 as dogs, and theme 2 is public service announcement, PSA. Many of you have already mentioned this particular stamp set. This is the American Owls. It is one of my favorites, and I use it in combination with Harry Potter stamps, the Art of Magic stamps. I use it on the Harry Potter postcards. So it is one of my favorites and one of the ones I use most often. This one I didn't show you yesterday in yesterday's episode because I have sheets of this and I didn't have any loose. This is the Endangered Flora stamp. I do like this blue color in the back. Theme 1 is flowers. The color is listed as multi, but I do like this blue background. It's almost a Columbia blue, and it is pretty. It is a very, very pretty stamp. Here's the Einstein stamp. I have this under people. Color, I have it as sepia. And I use that sepia for this brownish antique looking color. Here is the Veterans Administration stamp. I have this as PSA and also red, white, and blue as the color. I only have 2 of these. This is the Helen Keller stamp. I have ordered more, and I have this listed under people. And the color palette I have is neutrals, or I could have put the sepia, but I did neutrals. Here's another Satennet set. This is the Coral Reefs. I didn't show this to you yesterday because I have sheets of this. I have 1 sheet, I should say, and I'm almost 3/4 through. This is the Martin Luther King stamp. I have ordered this, as you can see by the dot. This is the Steinbeck stamp, listed under people, as was the Martin Luther King, and this is listed under blue as the color. This is one of my favorites. It is the Organized Labor stamp. I like the bald eagle. I love that image. I send this actually with either American-based postcards or even an eagle postcard that I captured. Many of you have this. This is called Writing Letters. This is the larger of the 2 stamp set. This comes in a variety of color palettes, and it's paired with this particular stamp, which is 1 inch by 1 inch. So together, vertically, they are 1 inch by 2.5 inches. And it comes in a number of color palettes, actually 3 color palettes. This is the full sheet. It comes in this purple, this green, which is what I just showed you, and then this red, white, and blue. And that's it for now. Continue on. This is the next set of stamps. These are 1.5 inch by 1 inch. This is the International Year of the Child. I have this under PSA. Theme 1, Theme 2 is Children, and color palette is Sepia. This is one of my favorite stamps. Of course, you know that I collect space stamps. This is the Viking mission to Mars, and I have this listed under Space and under Blue. This is probably my most often used international stamp. This is the Statue of Liberty orange stamp, C63. I use it on all of my international cards that I'm sending with a dollar stamp, usually of a Statue of Liberty postcard, which I have many, many, many. So I use this very, very often. I have multiple sheets of this. And then this is the Mount McKinley stamp, National Parks Centennial. And I have this listed under nature, or I'm sorry, under landscapes and multi. The next set is 1.25 inches by 1.5 inches. This is the photography stamp. I've ordered several sheets of this. It is one of my favorite since I do take pictures and I am a photographer. I tend to use this on cards where I send my own postcard images. This I was gifted. It's not one of my favorites. I don't know why I'm so adverse to this particular stamp. This is a Pennsylvania Tollware stamp. It does have orange, so I can have it used as that. Theme 1 is crafts, and color palette is orange. And finally, you all know that I love my square stamp. So this is 1.75 inches by 1.75 inches. This is one of the American Architecture series. I think there are 3 now. This was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I have this listed under buildings and black and white. And this is the Robert Kennedy stamp. I have this listed under people and the color palette of blue. We're almost done. Thank you. Okay, folks, we are on the home stretch. This stamp set is the American Trees stamp set. It is 1 5/8 by 1 1/4. I do like these stamps. I have a whole collection of tree stamps. Is that one? This is a postcard stamp, 13/16 by 1 inch. It comes in a booklet, as you can see, and that's what they look like. We have the Wild Bill Cody stamp, which is 7/8 inch by 1 inch. And finally, we have the Dolly Madison stamp, which is 3/4 by 3/4. And there we go. And the reason why I give you dimensions on stamps is because it can become very important when you have limited space. This is a postcard that I have that I'm getting ready to send out. What I don't ever do is I never cover up any of the printing that's here because the recipient may want to be able to read it and find out about what the postcard is about. So as you can see here, I only have about a little over 2 inches available to place stamps. So I could use, internationally, I could use a Global Forever stamp, which would be fine. But as you can see, when you start placing some of these stamps, some of these larger stamps, you run out of space very, very quickly. So it's good to know the dimensions of your stamps, and it's good to have a wide variety of dimensions in your stamp collection. Well, that's it for today. Have a great day. I will talk with you tomorrow, hopefully with the new Wild and Scenic Rivers stamp set. Have a great day. Bye-bye.